Namaste, good evening. I, Garima Jain, Assistant Professor with DMA Media School. Welcome all our esteemed guests, speakers, and participants for the second plenary session of the seventh edition of ICAN, the International Conference on Advancement in Media and Communication, being hosted by Delhi Metropolitan Education, Noida. DMA Media School, a proud constituent of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University in Media Studies. Since its inception in 2018, ICAN has grown into a truly global academic platform, bringing together scholars, researchers, and media professionals from across the world. Let's have a quick look at our vibrant campus life. I request the technical team to kindly play the AV. Thank you. Earlier today, we commenced ICAN7 with a powerful and insightful inaugural plenary session held at DME campus. The session was graced by several eminent voices from the field of media and academia, setting the stage for 2 days of dynamic discussion. Now, we are delighted to welcome you to plenary session 2 being conducted in the online mode on the theme AI and Future of Media, Ethics and Innovation. This session promises to delve deep into the ethical considerations and innovative possibilities that artificial intelligence presents in the ever-evolving media landscape. To officially commence this thought-provoking session, I now take the privilege of inviting Honorable Justice Bhavar Singh Sir, Director General DME and former judge with Allahabad Court. His visionary leadership continues to inspire academic excellence and innovation at DME. Sir.
Good evening to all. Our guests of honor, Dr. Jatin Srivastav, Ms. Sadhvi Pragya, Professor Nagozi Okpara, Apna Chopra, Professor Parul, Dr. Sachin, Dr. Steven J. Dick, and Dr. Kuller. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the ICAN event 7 of Delhi Metropolitan Education. I take pleasure to address you about the ethics in journalism. The journalistic ethics comprise principles of ethics and good practice applicable to journalists. There are around 400 codes covering journalistic work around the world. Chief of them are Principles of truthfulness, everybody knows, accuracy, and, and fact-based communications, independence, objectivity, impartiality, fairness, and respect for others, as also public accountability. Friends, while journalists in the United States and European countries have led the formulation and adoption of these standards, such codes can be found in news reporting organizations in most countries. The countries which are developing with the democratic setup of governments, where the freedom of speech is the fundamental right of every citizen, the ethical values become a matter of very strict scrutiny. In our judiciary, there is a dictum that a person is innocent unless proven guilty. We cannot presume that every journalist or a reporter has twisted the facts of a story. He or she is expected to be truthful in his or her revelations. But what is required is that there should be, at the time of collecting the story facts, there should be some witnesses to support it. In the judicial circles, I may refer once again, since I come from the judicial circle, the testimony of more witnesses is considered to be true, acceptable, and convincing. So, independent fact checking by another employee of publisher is desirable. In 2018, as you might be knowing, the action plan was created to help check information more effectively, to hopefully get rid of false information. And if by mistake some incorrect information is given by the reporter, then ethical values require that the correction, or say corrigendum, should be issued, and that should be issued publicly. Defendants at the trial in court proceedings are treated only as having allegedly committed crimes until conviction. Therefore, while reporting the court trials, the reporters are expected not to be biased against, not to be prejudiced against the defendants at trial. Friends, opinion surveys and statistical information deserve special treatment to communicate in precise terms and conclusions. Journalism today is built of true, accurate, and objective information. Quality journalism that scrutinizes and criticizes social, political, and economic authority is in a constant state of vulnerability to manipulation and censorship. Friends, reporting the truth is almost never libel. Truth always keeps the success going, but as a judge, as I have been, I may suggest to my dear journalists that while reporting some sensitive news, particularly about the children, you must show compassion because they may be adversely affected otherwise. Secondly, be sensitive when seeking or using interviews or taking photographs of those affected by tragedy or grief. Thirdly, recognize that gathering and reporting information may cause harm and discomfort. At the same time, also recognize that private people have a greater right to control information on the basis of the right to privacy about themselves in comparison to the public officials who always seek power. Friends, show always good taste, avoid pandering and lurid curiosity, be cautious about identifying juvenile suspects or victims of sex crimes, be judicious about naming criminal suspects before the formal filing of charges. And lastly, I would submit that balance the criminal suspect's fair trial rights with public's right to be informed. With this, I once again welcome the gala gathering of our celebrity guests and all the participants. I wish you a good fortune. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Parul Mehra, head of DMA Media School and the convener of ICAN7, to deliver the welcome address. Dr. Mehra has been a guiding force behind this academic celebration, and we look forward to hearing her words.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Esteemed dignitaries present here, Professor Jatin Shrivastava, Professor Okpara is here, Professor Stephen, dear Sadhvi Pragya ji, Dr. Sachin Kumar, moderator of the session, Dr. Ahana has also joined us. Well, we appreciate your unalloyed confidence and support that you have accepted our invitation at first hand and being agreed to be the speakers of this flagship event. Director General DME Honorable Mr. Justice Bhavar Singh sir is also here, and I'm very thankful for your kind presence, sir. Well, it is an immense pleasure and a deep sense of pride that I welcome you all to this plenary session 2 of the 7th International Conference on Influencers, Content, Algorithmic Transparency and Narrative Building. But before we discuss about ICAN7 and things forward, I would like to tell you that we have accomplished 6 successful editions of ICAN already, and DME Media School is organizing now its 7th International Media Conference. My special mention and thanks to Professor Jatin Shrivastava sir, who is the president of SACA and director of Institute of International Journalism at Ohio University, US. And of course, Professor Surbhi Daya, maybe she's not present in this session, but she's a vice president of SACA. Both of you, we give you a heartfelt thank you for collaborating with us in this event as an international partner and constantly guiding us throughout the journey of this ICAN7. I think Jatin sir, you were the first one whom I messaged I mailed you, and since from the very inception you are there with us, guiding us, supporting us, sharing a lot of insights about how it is possible to organize the international conference. So my big thank you to you, sir. So before dwelling into this current media landscape, allow me to briefly reflect on the journey of ICAN, because we have already conducted 6 successful editions and now we have entered into its 7th. So basically the key concept of organizing this international conference since 2018, it is to provide platform for the researchers, then the academicians, of course, the students from not just India, but all across the globe to present their research work in, different technical sessions. and also to get involved in the academic discourse and exchange through different plenary sessions and panel discussions, and of course the master classes also we are regularly conducting in these 2 days for the people around, and different workshops, the training workshops for the gathering. This conference is also providing a platform for the interaction of people from industry as well as academics, so that that gap between the academia and the industry should fulfill. Well, this year we are especially honored to host such a diverse gathering, because we have participants this time from all across the globe who are contributing more than 75 insightful papers, and we have a productive collaboration this time with prestigious IHD International Journal, which is International Scopus Index peer-reviewed journal, and the other is the Media Space, which is peer-reviewed journal of DME Media School, and therein we'll also help for the publication of the selected papers of the researchers. Well, this overwhelming response underscores the significance of the theme that we are set now to explore for these 2 coming days, and I am actually very, very thrilled to share with all of you that our inaugural session, which we have conducted today morning, was with the top-notch media professional, both from the the academia as well as the industry experts of India. So ICAN7 is an humble effort which is focusing on the changes that have been observed in the the content delivery, which has been especially observed after the post-COVID era. So if we talk about the influencers culture, I think this influencer culture is a household name these days, specifically in this digital age, and of course it's a worldwide phenomena which has attained a deep rise in the significance, unlike we have seen in the history of media and communication. Also, this kind of dominant force is not just shaping the trends and the opinions, but what I believe is the behavioral patterns of the audiences. So individuals with this significant following on social media is playing an important role in disseminating the information today. So I would also like to talk a little about the user generated content, which is like a powerhouse today, because if you go through portals like Instagram, UGC now is account on a significant portion of the content, and the notable percentage of creators are primarily earning from it. So if specifically I indicate or quote the sources, it says that 55.7% of content is user generated content, and 18% of the creators are primarily earning from it. But despite lots and lots of benefits, I think the influential content has multitude of challenges, which is I think there is no other thing to mention, because it is ranging from the mental health and the screen addiction, which is very common. And one very important point which is there is that the deliberate dissemination of misinformation, which is very common practice based on the conspiracy theories, or also forwarding for the exploitation or maybe the social biasness. Also, polarizing of content is very popular. So here algorithmic transparency comes into being, because it refers to the use of algorithms to create and analyze the the storytelling part. So I believe that in absence of algorithmic transparency, it becomes almost impossible to control the credibility of the content, which is all around moving at the internet space. So another which is very important aspect which is very alarming is the authenticity of the content at the backdrop of the deep fake videos, which are going viral for all the wrong reasons. So basically all these points were kept into mind, and keeping these above concerns which I just mentioned with you in mind, I think this international conference is like an humble effort towards bringing the light to this pertinent issue, which is very, very common. And of course, this change in the content of media, which is alarming and which is very concernful, because this kind of misinformation trend is very popular in the media industry, specifically if I talk in the journalism field, also for the marketing or the creative writing. So this is very common. So in the end, I just wanted to sum up saying that this occasion of ICAN7 has undoubtedly brought together not just the cross section of academicians and the researchers, scholars, and the students from all across the globe, but I would say that the creme de la creme of the media industry from academia and industry from all across the globe has participated in this important discourse. So on behalf of Delhi Metropolitan Education, I express my profound and most sincerest gratitude to all the eminent speakers and all the people who have joined us today and accepted our invitation. Thank you very much, everyone. And over to you, Garima.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for setting the tone for this session. We are honored to be joined by a panel of distinguished speakers from across the globe, as everyone mentioned. Just to give a brief intro about them, and then I will give the session to our moderator. So we have with us Professor Dr. Jatin Srivastava, President of SACA and Director of Institute of International Journalism, Ohio University, USA. Then we have Ms. Sadhvi Pragya Bharti. She's an academic visionary, spiritual leader, and founder of Sambhav International Foundation. Professor Ngozi Opara, Director, GFK Center, School of Media and Communication, Pan Atlantic University, Nigeria. Dr. Sachin Kumar, Assistant Professor, Artificial Intelligence, Cluster Innovation Center, University of Delhi. Dr. Stephen J. Dick, Research Associate with RMC and former Chief Historian, NASA, Florida, USA. And we are also joined by an insightful Dr. Ahana Chopra, Associate Professor with Kalindi College, Delhi University, as a moderator for this session. With this incredible lineup, we now begin a dialogue that explores not just what AI can do for media, but also what it should do, guided by ethics and innovation. Let's begin. The floor is all yours, Dr. Ahana.
Thank you so much, Garima. And I'm really honored. Before I begin, good evening, everyone. And before I begin, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the team ICANN and Delhi Metropolitan for giving me the opportunity to moderate this extremely insightful session. And it's truly an honor to be a part of the conversation that brings together such brilliant minds from around the world to discuss on such an important topic and a timely topic, impactful topic as AI and the future of media ethics and innovation. So the plenary session of this around this topic brings together the global thought leaders to explore the transformative impact of artificial intelligence on media landscapes, while confronting the ethical complexities that come with rapid innovation. As AI now reshapes the content creation, dissemination, and public discourse, this panel will discuss the challenges and opportunities it presents for media ethics, governance, and global collaboration. So each of our esteemed panelists will be sharing their thoughts for about 10 to 12 minutes. And I'm certain that we all are in for a session filled with thought-provoking perspectives and meaningful dialogue. So without any further delay, I'm sure everybody wants to listen to each one of them. Let's get started. I would like to first invite Professor Dr. Jatin Srivastava, President of the South Asia Communication Association. Dr. Srivastava is a professor at Ohio University, where he also serves as the director of the Institute for International Journalism. His work focuses on global media, digital communication, and the intersection of technology and journalism. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chopra, and thank you, thank you, the ICANN team, for inviting me and working with us, and I would like to welcome all the guests and eminent speakers in the panel. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you for being here. So I want to talk about AI in a very in a very day-to-day kind of sense. I want to talk about a very specific problem that that we are working on figuring out at at the graduate program at School of Journalism, right? And that problem is that of originality, right? What do you consider original? What do you consider, not original? And and how do you think about it? So let's take a scenario. There's a there's a student who asks you if in writing their dissertation, their PhD dissertation or PhD thesis, they could use generative AI, right? Now, you say, okay, and you would say, well, we would like you to write whatever is there, right, originally. But then the argument comes that, we are not exactly writing things from the scratch because AI is not still very good at doing that academically. However, what we are doing, and there could be different scenarios, right? We are writing a draft, a rough draft, and then using, something like, let's say, Chat GPT, to smoothen or polish the writing, right? So if you take a draft of your writing and and submit it to Chat GPT with the prompt, such as write smoothly in APA style, and APA style is the style we use in much of the journalism and communication discipline. uh, then Chat GPT rephrases, polishes and whatnot. Now, is that a problem, right? What would you say to that? Now, we also have to keep in mind that most of us do use artificial intelligence uh, or some kind of aid, some kind of machine learning aid. When we use Grammarly, when we use many of the editor functions in the Microsoft Word, many other software platforms that give you suggestions about tone, that give you, personalized feedback about rephrasing sentences, and so on. Okay. So, and that's, and most of that is perfectly acceptable. We don't even question it. We write emails. I have this add-on, this Grammarly add-on, and I write emails, and it gives me suggestions. You could write this like this. You could use this word, and so on. So, and that is perfectly fine, right? I don't have to disclose it or talk about it. Okay. So again, coming back to this very interesting or very serious problem in many ways. Uh, so a student who wants to use generative AI to polish their writing, for their dissertation. Okay. Now, so that is one aspect, right? It is being used in different contexts. In some context, we find it more questionable than other contexts, right? But the second thing uh, is the strategy to approach it, right? To approach this problem, even if you want to regulate it or to enforce, let's say, some kind of a ban or some kind of penalty, is it possible to do that? With plagiarism, it was very easy to do that, right? Because you just had to, and you had the software, turn it in and whatnot, and they would, scan the internet and, many of the academic databases, and they would find content that looks or that sounds or that is written exactly similar to what you have in the material that you are evaluating, right? But and so that would be a conclusive, that was seen in most cases as a conclusive proof, right? With artificial intelligence, it's really hard to do that, right? So there are tools that claim to detect, AI, or the use of artificial intelligence uh, in detecting use of artificial intelligence, like Chat GPT Zero and many other platforms. Now, in these platforms, you can put the text that you want to test, and they will give you some kind of probability, right? So there is 90% probability that this text was written by artificial intelligence. There was the 30% probability that this text was written by humans, and so on. But the important thing to remember is that that it is not really conclusive. Much of the research that comes out on the effectiveness, or that has come out, or that has been done on the effectiveness of these detection tools, uh, notes that there might be different kind of biases in the way these platforms detect AI use, right? They say that in certain cases they seem to be more likely, or they are more likely to detect uh, AI use among writing by international students. And there have been and some other kind of biases, and there have been these cases where people took text from from authors much before the advent of internet, like not even AI, so authors from 1950s or 40s, and put that text into AI, and you find that for many of those authors you get the AI detection, where the platform says that. So it is not perfect, right? So AI detection is not perfect. Most AI platforms also provide a disclaimer where they say that that this is just to understand this, right? They should not be, or the findings from this platform should not be used as a punitive measure, right? It should not be used to penalize students, to be more specific. You know? So then you get into this situation where you say, well, I can't really prove this, right, conclusively. Now, the only way to conclusively prove this is to ask the student, right? Have you used any other, any kind of aid, any other kind of tool to write this material? And if the student says yes, then it's yes. But then remember, for every student who says yes, there would be a lot of students who would just say no, right? Because it's really hard to prove anything. It might become better, in the coming time. So enforcement is a very sketchy option. If you look at the AI policies of institutions across US, many institutions expressly prohibit the use of detection softwares to penalize students, right? So so enforcement is still complicated, or punitive strategies are still complicated. That leaves us, at least at this point of time, with the idea of AI awareness or AI literacy, and where you teach your students responsibly. Most institutions that are setting up AI policies are asking students to disclose the nature of AI use in in a disclosure, where you say things like, Grammarly and Microsoft Word spell check were used to refine writing in this in this dissertation, in this thesis, in this assignment, and so on, right? So as of now, where we stand, the way we are looking at this problem, enforcement is still not probably a very viable way to go, or hard enforcement at least. But a more viable approach at this point of time seems to be a more education, awareness, literacy, community engagement centered approach, where uh, you talk about it with your students, and remember, and this is the last sentence I'm going to say uh, before I say thank you, is that a lot of these challenges that we are asking our students to be, a lot of these issues we are asking our students to be more mindful of. Our faculty members, our colleagues face the same issues. AI is not something that is being used, or generative AI that is being used just by students. It's also being used by faculties and faculty members, administrators, academicians, and so on. So with that, I would end my brief discussion. Any questions would be deeply appreciated. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Jatin. I think, yes, we will save the questions for the end of the session. And the thing you mentioned about originality, it does make a lot of sense. It was a challenge then, and it is a challenge now. Even at the time of AI, originality remains something, that has nuanced the role of AI in content creation. But your thoughts have definitely set a powerful tone for the session. Definitely, we have Ms. Sadhvi Pragya Bharti with us, and an academic visionary we all know, and known for her contributions to educational reform and thought leadership. Ms. Bharti brings a unique perspective to the evolving relationship between ethics, innovation, and knowledge systems in the age of AI. It is our utmost pleasure to invite her to share her thoughts. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Hana ji, for this warm introduction. And congratulations to ICAN and Delhi Metropolitan for bringing up this amazing subject, which is the need of the hour, I would say. And my heartiest congratulations to Parul Mehra ji for taking up this initiative, because I received a call from her and she was very enthusiastic about the subject. And I immediately said yes, though we were so occupied. But seeing her enthusiasm, to motivate and inspire the younger generation, I said yes to the event. And also Professor Jatin Srivastav, Professor Steve, Dr. Sachin Kumar, Ahana ji, Justice Bhavar Singh, Dr. Yamini Kular, and my dear young minds. My humble namaskar and warm greetings to all of you. It is an honor to be here among the minds committed to inquiry, justice, truth, and transformation. Today, we are gathered to reflect on a subject that stands at the intersection of science and soul, progress and principle, which is AI, artificial intelligence, and the future of media. Let me begin by invoking the ancient Vedic mantra from Rig Veda that comes from our Indian scriptures, which beautifully says, Ano Bhadra, Kritavo Yantu Vishwataha, which means let noble thoughts come to us from all directions. This, in essence, is the spirit in which we must approach AI and media with openness, with courage, and with deep responsibility. I'd like to talk about the power and promise of AI in media. See, while we talk about artificial intelligence, I would say that it is transforming media at a breathtaking pace. Newsrooms are integrating AI to fact check, summarize, and even write news reports. Documentaries can now be voice narrated by AI replicas of historical figures. Social media algorithms decide not just what we see, but also what we believe. And this, I would say, friends, is not just an innovation, it is power. The power to inform, the power to influence, and in many ways, the power to engineer consent. But with great power, as we always say, comes great responsibility. And as a renowned philosopher Marshall once said, the medium is the message. Today, AI itself is becoming the medium. What message is it sending? That is for us to decide and to decode. If we talk about the ethical challenges, from manipulation to misinformation, like a few other speakers also mentioned about it, the ethical dilemmas surrounding AI in media are urgent, such as deepfakes can manipulate realities. Algorithmic biases can marginalize voices. Surveillance capitalism reduces human attention to data points. And the very notion of truth is being destabilized. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna beautifully says, see, I'd like to talk about both spirituality and science, because today we are living in an era wherein we need to focus on spirituality as well, taking it as the core ideology so that it can always inspire us to do right in our life and moving on with the globalization, with the progress as well. So if I quote Bhagavad Gita here, Lord Shri Krishna beautifully said, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat. Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and an increase in unrighteousness, I manifest myself. So, brothers and sisters, I would say that we are at a juncture, a decline in dharma, not in the religious sense, but as cosmic order and ethical living. So the moot question is not just what can AI do? The question is, what should AI do? This is very important. In a world where, we are all surrounded by irrelevant information, clarity is power. Thus, ethical clarity must anchor all technological development. And now, if I talk about the spiritual perspective, because this is the age of machines wherein we need to talk about conscious media as well. In the Vedic paradigm, every act is an imprint on the soul, a ripple in the moral fabric of the cosmos. Media is not merely a business of information, it is a sacred duty, a calling to awaken minds, speak truth to power, and protect the spirit of humanity. If I ask you, can a machine have vivek, the discriminative wisdom between right and wrong? Can an algorithm understand karuna, the compassion? These are not merely technological questions, they're ontological and philosophical as well. As we say, satya me vijayate. Truth alone triumphs, not falsehood. Let this be the motto of AI driven media too. As Swami Vivekananda has beautifully said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. In the same spirit, AI should become a means to manifest what you feel, to manifest for the larger good of the humanity, not mimic the worst. And also, if we talk about innovations, I'd like to talk about innovations with integrity, designing a future with values to ensure ethical use of AI in media. If I talk about 5 major points, value aligned AI, see, it is very important because what we need is embed ancient moral philosophies into AI frameworks. Then we're going to talk about transparent algorithms that insist on audi that insist on auditability, like, and also the accountability. How much we're accountable in. And we must treat data as a reflection of human soul, not a commodity. We must treat data as sacred because today we can see everywhere. If you exchange your number or maybe you give your information or contact to a certain website, your data is leaked. You just start getting calls, fake calls, spam calls from everywhere. So data is sacred. We must take it like this: AI for collective well being. Direct AI to solve real issues such as climate, justice, education. We can also focus it on global ethical charters, develop international ethical standards rooted in both universal values and cultural wisdom. Mahatma Gandhi was said, speed is irrelevant if you're going in the wrong direction. Let us ensure that innovation does not outpace our moral compass. And before I give a pause to my views, I would like to make a call to young journalists, lawyers, and media makers who are listening us out today. To the students here, I would say you are the custodians of a new era. Ask yourselves, will I use AI to distort or to discover? Will I seek virality or veracity? Will I become a consumer of content or a seeker of clarity? Let the spirit of Maharshi Narad, the first celestial communicator as we call him, inspire you to wield the power of communication with purity. Draw also from the wisdom of our Vedas that beautifully says the smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, challenge the limits, expand the spectrum, be the voice of the voiceless. And before I conclude, I would say the future of media must not only be intelligent, it must be conscious. AI will create, curate, and collaborate, but it must not dominate the soul of storytelling. That soul belongs to humanity. I would say, Tamso Ma Jyotir Gamai. Lead us from darkness to light. Let us all walk together, scientists and saints, engineers and ethicists, journalists and jurists, into an age where machines may think, but it is the awakened human conscious that leads. And with this note, I give a pause to my views. And once again, I congratulate ICAN and all the dignitaries who are here today with me on my panel. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks to Dr. Parul Mehra and thanks to the entire team of Delhi Metropolitan. Congratulations once again. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Sadhvi Pragya ji. And it was so insightful. Wow, very thought-provoking insights. And yes, I agree that it's time for introspection, especially at the age of AI. Your reflections on the intersection of spirituality and AI and the call for more conscious media has offered a deeply meaningful perspective in the age of rapid technological advancements. Thank you so much. We'll keep the questions for the last.
Place. I would like to invite Professor Dr. Opara. She's here. She has joined us. She's a director with JFK Center, School of Media and Communication, Pan Atlantic University, Nigeria. A noted media scholar, she contributes valuable insights into the ethical implications of AI usage in African media context and beyond. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be a part of this great occasion, this plenary section on AI and future of media. Like you said, my work lies at the intersection of ethics, media, and society, especially within the African context, where questions of human dignity, identity, and technological transformation are deeply pressing. So today I'd like to draw your attention to what AI can do, how relevant AI is in the media. Very relevant. Like I tell my students, AI should not be something we completely rely on. AI is something we use as a tool to be able to do our work, to be able to know where we are. Because if you understand what AI is, it will help us to understand that AI can help us to create content, tell the stories in an intelligent way and in the way that flows. It will to enhance what we do, but not something we can rely 100% on. Because if you look at it that way, it will help you to be able to make proper use of AI. Like has been said by the speakers before me, AI can help us a lot, but we have to be very, very conscious of the ethical dimensions of AI. How are we using AI? Are we transparent? Are we aware of what AI can do? Are we aware of the challenges of AI? And when I mean challenges, these challenges are there, whether we like it or not, because the uses of AI, as I always tell my students, are there. But the challenges also should be taken note of. What are these challenges? We know that this fake and misinformation are there. Not quite long ago in Nigeria during the last presidential election, we saw what happened in the media where people created fake pictures of the ailing president and then rumors of deaths and challenges of so many things, and this caused a lot of problems, which we are still dealing with in Nigeria today. That's one of the challenges, so that if you are going to use AI to generate your content, make sure that as a human being, you are also using your intelligence to be able to identify the things that will cause problems in a very fragile country like Nigeria. We have the challenge of job loss and creative discipline. I listened to the first speaker. Yes, students rely a lot on AI, and that is part of the reasons where creative thinking is no longer what is in vogue now. Creative thinking is declining because any small assignment, they go to AI, and then everybody in the same class is bringing up the same issues, the same angle, the same everything. That's a challenge. In spite of the good aspect of AI, or the relevance of AI, making sure that we tell the stories in a way that will be okay for human consumption. Then we have another challenge of loss of human touch. Like I said before, when someone was trying to bring up what is in the AI, you may inadvertently bring up issues that we further polarize the fragile peace we have in our country. So that's a very good, a big challenge. Then privacy breaches and surveillance, governmentric biases and discrimination, echo chambers where people do not see things from the same point of view, and reduce worldview. Things do not start and end with you. Then copyright issues, you have the Nollywood film industry where people cannot do their own work, but depend on other people. Other people sought to copyright, no respect for intellectual property, and all sorts. The lack of transparency and accountability. When AI generates something that is not good, who is accountable? Who will refute the information? How do we do that? And then overdependence on the system. that creates something that is not helping to uphold human dignity. These are some of the issues we have down here regarding AI. And of course, cultural homogenization and identity loss. We are not the same. We can never be the same. So if you are creating the narrative in the media that tries to homogenize us, when we have unity in diversity, that's one of the problems of AI. So it is important for us to look at it from an ethical point of view. What can ethics do? How can we help our young people? How can we teach? How can we do our work as journalists, as media practitioners, as academics to help people to see the challenges of AI as challenges that we can also take into consideration and by really applying ethics in what we do? And I always tell my students and also tell myself that respect for human dignity is part of the reasons why you must apply ethics. Ethics should be practiced in such a way that the human being, the human person should be above everything, above every other creature. And so anything that we degrade or dehumanize any individual is, to me, very unethical. And that is what we should work for, by ensuring that AI will help us to uphold human dignity and empathy in any content of media we present. So here, down here in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, you see many skits, many publications published out of mischief because they can use AI to manipulate things and then put it to the public, whereby people with little or no media literacy will swallow everything, hook, line, and sinker, and then the country will be boiling. And then, of course, nothing will happen because they know they want clickbaiting, they want to sell their papers, they want to achieve the agenda. We don't know how they are setting. Now, we also have to understand that for us to use AI, we must understand that the human being has agency. We have human agency and moral agency. And we can also control the way we do certain things. So we cannot allow technology to control us, but to control technology and use it in such a way that it will also humanize us in such a way that we are human beings. Now, we also need to understand that one of the ethical perspectives of AI use is informed consent in whatever we are doing and transparent data practices. How are we using the data we generate from AI? Do we get consent of people by doing that? Or are we transparent in declaring how we got the data? These are things also ethics will help us to understand by the principles of ethics, principles of transparency, principles of accountability, principles of truthfulness, balance, and so on, impartiality. Now, fairness and inclusivity. Now, in some country, in a very heterogeneous country or society as we have in the world today, it's important to be able to make sure that every voice is heard. So the bias created by AI should be worked on with human intelligence so that we will include everybody and then practice non-discrimination in AI usage or whatever. Then, of course, we have to make decisions based on human intelligence and not AI decisions. So whatever you generate from AI, make sure you filter it through human intelligence so that truthfulness and authenticity will really be very kind. Now, let me say this thing. AI is only as intelligent as the human person who programs it. For us to program AI, we have to have at the back of our mind, what use are we going to make of this beautiful technology? Because I think that the way the printing press changed the world, the way electronic media changed the world is the way the internet and of course AI is changing the world today. It's not going to stop here. Tomorrow, a lot of things may come in. We are not the world is not static. So if as human beings we have the agency, the human and moral agency to be able to program things that will help to augment human dignity, respect, and inclusivity, that will help us to be able to live in a country or in a society where every voice will be heard. AI is very good, but we must use it responsibly. We must use it in such a way that it will help. It will help us to collect and do our work as media practitioners, as educationists very well, but not to use it to demonize or to do mischief. Why AI is reshaping media? It cannot, we have to remember, replace the unique depth of human intelligence, our creativity, which is not the same as AI creativity, and moral reasoning. Human agency remains central, not only in designing and guiding AI, but also in ensuring that media practice remains what it should be. with the human being at the apex of what you should do. So in the African thoughts, the human person is more than a mind. We are spirits, community, and conscience. AI may mimic our logic, but it can never get our essence. So it's for us to now work on how to use this essence to do good and to be able to foster that common good that will bring inclusivity and unity to the world that is changing rapidly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Humanity first, humanitarian first. I think with that view, it's very important for us to realize that at the age of AI, what it is to become, it is to be a human. So thank you again, Dr. Okpara. I apologize for the earlier glitch. For your powerful insights on cultural homogenization and the potential loss of identity in the age of AI. Your perspective definitely reminds us the need to preserve our identity, the cultural diversity, and also the ethical sensitivity as technology just continues to evolve. Thank you, ma'am. We'll keep the questions for the last. Now I'm pleased to invite Dr. Stephen Dick to share his thoughts, a research associate.
What they were trying to do was that they were trying to normalize the information and spread it out. One of the problems is that, I don't know, Nevada is a state in the southwestern portion of the United States. Its largest city that you might be aware of is Las Vegas, Nevada, which contains about 20% of the whole population of the state. However, within the state, there are very, very large areas that are extremely rural. One of our pilot districts is Nye County, Nevada, where you will find an average of less than 2 people per square kilometer. A disabled student may not see another disabled student in their entire lifetime. They may not know what it's like to experience with other disabled students. They may not know the services. The teachers may not have very many disabled students across their career, and even the school superintendents may not be able to handle more than a dozen students. And so having the basic information out there became very important to the Office of Inclusive Education. And so one of the main aspects of this particular grant was to develop a website that would speak to the students directly about what information, what do they need to know, and everything like that. And oh yes, here, what they need to know and what they could serve. And so they called this the Nevada TRIP website. TRIP refers to Transition Roadmap through Innovative Partnership. It was the idea that we were going to provide information for the students from the very beginning. The website will provide basic like, do I have a disability? Would I be considered a disabled student? What kind of services can I expect from my school? What should I be asking for from my school? What kind of services are available outside of the school? And one of the things that becomes very important with this particular program is to bring the resources together. First thing they had to do was they had to search for the resources that were out there. Who out there was doing anything for disabled students? What kind of services, what kind of programs were available, and everything like that. Second was to standardize the messaging from all these services. And so we had to bring in university scholars, we had to bring in service providers, health providers, schools, and other people. Even in one case, the United States military had services for disabled students, and we brought in their information into this particular website to help students who were disabled. And they created a website that was designed for children. They've designed it for children below the age of 14 and a second one for children above the age of 14 to provide specific information about what kind of services and what kind of information is available for disabled students in the state. Bringing these people together meant that we had to encourage them to work together in a way that really does cost them, because they actually had to participate, they had to spend their time and everything like that, and then contribute information. They had to review the website and everything. The website that is up now is at https://nevadatrip.nv.gov. I'm going to put my speaker notes in the chat by the end of this particular presentation so that you can follow this. It's specifically for the information that's available in Nevada, but it is useful to see as a demonstration project. I'm just going to put that up there. And it's childlike in its presentation. So it's colorful. It shows children who are handicapped. It's one of the main characters is a child that's missing a leg. You have other people who have what they call invisible handicaps, people with emotional and cognitive disabilities. We have people in wheelchairs, and they all have the ability to take a car around the different sites. And each of the sites will present a different perspective of the state. The main goals for the students: identifying their disabilities, providing the options, providing the resources, and then finally a transition into what we call post-secondary, to college or work life, so that the children understand what kind of services will follow them as they go into their college and their work. If they don't want to go to college, then they can provide services for work. In the future, they're going to test the website in the pilot districts. It has been rolled out. It is not complete, but it has been rolled out as a demonstration. And they're going to review it with the advisory board, which includes parents, children, and service providers. They're going to review it with the U.S. Department of Education. They're going to get feedback, and they're going to improve the website as it moves on. They've rolled it out to three test districts to see how the students use it and what they're doing with it. And then after 5 years, the goal is to plan sustainability for the website. The goal is the whole idea about this is bring that information so that the student can see it, and it goes from basic information, writing, written information, website links, to YouTube videos and other sources of information. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't do much in the way of AI on this particular one, although I will admit that RMC Research uses AI so that my annual report was readable to a wider variety of people. This is a kind of thing where we really need to think about it's better than just slapping something up with an artificial intelligence, but actually going and providing real information, checking out with the real people, and working with others. So with that, I will conclude, and I will thank you for inviting me to this great presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen. I think definitely a fresh perspective. And the experience you shared, the knowledge you shared, particularly your reflections on the students and the Nevada project, the disability and the role of AI. And I think it was very refreshing and important perspective that added a unique direction to the entire conversation today. Thank you so much. We'll definitely have some questions in the last. Now I'm delighted to invite our final speaker for the day, Dr. Sachin Kumar. Dr. Kumar is an assistant professor of artificial intelligence at the Cluster Innovation Center, University of Delhi, and executive officer of the University of Delhi Foundation. With extensive research and experience in AI for sustainability, urban computing, and ethical governance, his work bridges the gap between cutting-edge technology and social societal impact. We look forward to your insights, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Hannah ma'am. Thank you. Since I'm coming from artificial intelligence background, so I would like to uh, share something about the background, and then I'll come to the media and ethics related challenges in the present day world driven by artificial intelligence. We understand that we have been part of this human society, and we can divide that society into four parts majorly. The first part, we can say that we are part of hunting and gathering. We were part of hunting and gathering society, and it led to the development of our human society into agrarian society and then industrialized society. From the industrialized society, we have come into the information knowledge society, and this information knowledge society is actually completely dependent on generation of the knowledge, generation of the information, generation of the data, and extraction of the useful information from that thing to make our life easy. If we take into consideration of our whole human life, we can divide it into three parts from the perspective of that what we are actually transforming. Initially, we were transforming the material. We had wooden or stone related things, and then we converted them into our tools. Then came the period of the transformation of energy. We started transforming energy from water power into steam power to electric power to combustion power, like that. And now we are in the phase of transforming the information actually. And this started from 1940s when the electronics and computer technologies came, and they started computation part and data processing for us. And at present, when we are living, we are actually witnessing one more transformation, that is processing of information to extract useful information and make intelligent decisions. And there you actually have artificial intelligence. If we see that we are now actually part of the phase where we are human being as well as we are data generation machine. Before 2000, we were generating data in analog format, like in notebooks, in registers, in the physical format. But after 2000, with the emergence of internet and the digital technologies, innovation around information and communication technology and softwares which are helping us to share information around the world, it has led to the generation of 90-95% of the information in digital format. And when you have such a huge information and the media generated, then it is our responsibility, as we know that the media and the data contains useful information, to extract useful information. But extracting useful information from such a large data or the big data is humanly impossible. So we need intelligent algorithm, artificial intelligence, big data and algorithms which can help us to extract useful information, so that those insights and reflections can be utilized to make our life easy and to make to do things which in which we can which in which we can observe the efficiency and productivity. In direction of artificial intelligence, we see that this thought came in 1950s when Alan Turing actually started thinking about, can machine thinks or can machine be intelligent? And after 6 years, one conference took place in Dartmouth College, led by John McCarthy, professor MIT, who actually invited his friends who were front runners in different fields to spend 2 months time, so that they can decide about how this field will emerge and what is actually artificial intelligence. So they actually come to the point where they decided, yes, we can define the intelligence, we can actually take human intelligence as a base, and we try to simulate or imitate the human intelligence in machine with logical framework. So then came the time that in which direction we have to go. We have to go completely human like thinking or human like actions, or we have to go rationality like situation. So the present day field is actually focused on systems that actually act rationally. So when we talk about rationality, it is important that we cannot completely focus our machine or intelligence in the machine on the foundation of the human intelligence or human perspective. Reason is sometimes human beings are emotional, and in emotional case, they conduct themselves in negative manner, and they may harm the society or the personal self also. So that thing was decided that we have to make sure that we encode something inside the machine or artificial intelligence so that its decisions, its processing of the data, they are towards rationality and the justice system. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, we need to understand what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is actually one field of computer science where it is responsible for making machines intelligent enough so that they can make their own decisions, work as the humans do with their intelligence. Or in simple words, we can say that artificial intelligence can be defined as a field of computer science which is responsible for making machines intelligent enough to make their own decisions and as humans do. So we have basically two type of artificial intelligence, and the present the development which we are witnessing, that is in the direction of the narrow artificial intelligence, and other part of the artificial intelligence or the type is called general artificial intelligence. So narrow artificial intelligence means that we are focused towards a very specific problem and we are developing intelligence to address that problem. So suppose you want to address that, you want to improve the writing skills, so then you have one software which is helping you to do that thing, for example Grammarly. So this is your narrow artificial intelligence. When artificial intelligence software in the hospital is diagnosing your disease, then it is narrow artificial intelligence. But there is other aspect of artificial intelligence which is called general artificial intelligence, which actually is about having almost similar capabilities like common sense, processing of information, processing of emotions, and then taking them into consideration to behave like human being. That is the challenge for the research community, and people are working in that direction. And some of the uh, leading researchers, they are saying that this development of such type of artificial intelligence may be challenging and may be very you can say uh, threatful for the humanity as a whole. So when we talk about the development of artificial intelligence, we can see that uh, we have surpassed the human level intelligence in several specific tasks, or you can say narrow artificial intelligence. We have now self-driving cars which are driving perfectly. We have facial recognition systems, they can easily identify which person is whom. We have chat GPT, where foundational models are able to generate the creative aspect or the questions you would like to ask with the help of the Grok software that is also based on the artificial intelligence. So the important thing here is that they have the whole knowledge base of the internet, the books around the world, and then they can easily answer your question. They can easily give you the task which you want to generate from them, assignment you want to generate as a faculty member. If you want to generate answers to those questions, they can give you, and accordingly they can customize if you give them the more prompt in that direction. Stanford University applied artificial intelligence or develop artificial intelligence with their medical hospital in the university, and they developed an artificial intelligence model which is actually surpassing the accuracy of the radiologist in the hospital. So, and one more, several developments are there. For example, China has introduced AI anchors where they just give the script to the AI anchor, which is just the replication of the physical anchor, and it is the virtual avatar of the physical anchor, and then that anchor reads the news for the new channels. And this has been in their practice 5, 6 years back. So these things are development which are taking around us, and everywhere we are witnessing now integration of artificial intelligence in our softwares, in our machines, in journalism, in data, everywhere. Wherever we are generating the data and wherever there is an insight, then artificial intelligence has potential to come into that domain and into that service to facilitate us. When we are developing artificial intelligence, we have several issues, several social and ethical issues. The most important of them is loss of control, security and privacy, unemployment, fairness, responsibility, and explainability. Loss of control means that we identify ourselves, the work we do. We identify around that work, that is our nature. If I am professor, then I have generated huge knowledge. I have understood everything with that concept and the knowledge base in particular field. And if artificial intelligence is having that type of knowledge, then it create problem for professors, teacher, or some anybody who is actually identified by the work, that how then they will lose control on their work, because machine intelligence will be utilized and artificial intelligence systems, softwares, and the machines, they will be doing the work. Then we have issues related to the security and privacy, where our data is being utilized, whether permission is being taken, and how that data is being utilized, whether it is anonymized or not. Otherwise, a personal or private information may go into the systems and it may create biases. Then issue of unemployment is well known around the world, and it is a very challenging issue. Government after government, they are witnessing and creating policies to address this issue. The important issue of artificial intelligence is one of the, that is fairness and bias issues. So what happens is, there have been several instances of artificial intelligence where it has been observed that artificial intelligence systems are actually demonstrating bias in their decision making. For example, Amazon created one software to help the recruitment process in the Amazon, because they were getting large number of CVs. So they wanted to screen out those CVs, and the relevant CVs they wanted to go with the second round. So they created one software, and when that software was utilized for the new CVs they received to identify whether they should be called for the interviews or not for the further round, then majority of the women candidate CVs, more than 80-90%, they were rejected. So this was reason because of the data bias or unbalanced data given to the artificial intelligence system. If these type of situations are not addressed, then in media also, then we will be facing the problems. If we go into one more example related to the criminal profiling software Compass in USA, then this software actually provided uh, predictive uh, uh, predictive help in case of the identification of whether a particular person will commit the crime or not again. So it was observed that this type of software, when data was fed into it, it was demonstrating biasness towards the Afro-American community, as well as if woman dimension is added, then that is was going even 6 times biasness was increasing. So these type of issues are there. And when we come directly to the media related issues, so we see that completely with the emergence of digital technologies, our the traditional news processes or the content creation pipeline has completely changed. Earlier, we used to create the professional used to create the information knowledge which was valid and authenticated. It used to be edited, and then after editorial policy and all these things, it was published, and then it used to be amplified and consumed by the end user. But now with the help of social media platforms, content creation platforms, those type of censorships and those type of editorial policies are absent, and now anybody can create the content, amplify that thing, publish it, and then influence the society around it. And that's why there are so many influencers in health domain, in fashion domain, in other domains where they do not have any background in particular area, and but they are so convincing in storytelling and all these things and in demonstration of their content, that they have large following, and they may create problem in terms of creating fake news, deep fake related issues for the society. So now, because of artificial intelligence and the digital technology collaboration, information ecosystem has completely changed, where anyone can publish, anyone can amplify, anyone can edit, or editors in the from the process are gone. What we have achieved in the media and journalism space from with artificial intelligence is that it has improved the efficiency, it has improved accuracy, it has improved real world insight, it has increased the productivity. When we talk about generative AI and creative content, we have now all type of softwares based on artificial intelligence, which are helping us to create text related data, image related data, even the video creation. And we can do the script writing, we can do image editing, we can create dubbing, deep fakes, and virtual, all these type of things we can do. So these two things are happening
Interrupt if
in
we
the
can
world.
in 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Apart from that, we are also facing problem related to deepfake, disinformation, and the media integrity, where AI can create convincing and fake content, posing risk to democracy, trust, and the elections. Over 500,000 deepfake videos were detected online by 2023 by Deep Trace Lab. There have been several instances where several softwares have been developed by big tech companies like so that they can identify and they can report whether it is a fake or not. In this direction of media integrity, deep fake, disinformation, government and United Nations with several funding agencies and several uh, think tanks around the world, they are coming together and generating policies so that the media creation, media content, media circulation, all these things can be regulated, and deepfake related issues can be addressed. In that direction, artificial intelligence regulations are coming in different regions, like European Union is coming with AI Act, USA with executive order on AI, and NIST AI risk framework they have adopted. China has adopted its AI ethical code, and Indian government has also come up with national AI strategy. So these type of national policies are coming around the world, and they need to be enforced so that a very good in artificial driven world, a very good ecosystem and space for the authentic, valid and accurate media can be uh, analyzed, can be circulated, can be created, and can be used for education purposes and all. So the what is the future? We can think about that AI is not going to replace the media professional. It is just transforming. We need to get educated about AI and utilizing those tools for the betterment in terms in our profession to improve the efficiency and productivity. We need to shape the media ecosystem that is smart, fair, and inclusive. And the future demand is about critical thinking, AI literacy, and ethics first innovation when we are adopting artificial intelligence into our profession. So, thank you very much. This is complete from my side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sachin Kumar. Definitely the possibilities, the responsibilities that comes with the AI needs to be understood, and your thoughts have actually tied it together, many of the threads that we have explored today. It has brought forward looking a lens to our conversation, as we have seen through each of our speakers, the intersection of AI, ethics, media. It's not just a matter of technology, but it's a matter of humanity after all. It's a matter of identity and also the values that we choose to uphold in shaping our future. So with that, I would like to open the floor for questions. We now invite the students, faculty, everybody who's there to engage directly with our panelists. I would like to you directed to the technical team to intervene. Please ask questions if you have any.
I had a question for Mr. Stephen Dick.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, how can AI help media companies connect with Gen Zs, and what might make it hard or easy for them to do it?
The problem that we have in our work right now is that I don't believe that AI is ripe enough to give the kind of quality presentation. We are a professional research agency, and I don't want to brag, but I would guess that a client probably pays $50,000 to $60,000 for one of our reports. An awkwardness that might creep into a report based on AI is a problem. I used it to reduce the grade reading level of some of the writing so that it'd be open for a larger group. But my client says, "Hey, this is sounding a little bit weird." In addition, sometimes there are very specific words with very specific meaning. As a statistician, whenever somebody uses the word significant, anybody that's in the room that is a statistician, you know that if you use the word significant, that implies that there's a test. And so, how did you determine that this is a significant finding? When a client used AI to develop a survey, the survey questions individually were fine, but as a group, they didn't hang well together. They weren't well organized, and it required almost as much work to rewrite that survey to be something acceptable as it did to just go ahead and write it out raw. I did use AI to research the parameters of a survey, but then I went through and I reorganized those and I customized them for my particular clients. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so I can see a lot of students raising the hands. One by one, we can take them. Vrinda Agarwal.
My question is, what role does AI play in fact checking of news today?
That with AI is that AI will repeat the spam content, and it becomes difficult for. Like I said, I feel like AI is not right for some of this stuff because it will repeat the spam checking, the bad speech, which is sent out so often, so much in so many different formats that it will take that as being real as opposed to being able to tell the difference between an authoritative source and a less likely source. And I imagine we'll get there someday, but right now I don't see it working as well.
Okay, meanwhile, I have a question to the panel. It's a question not as an academician, but as a parent that I want to ask. We are surrounded with so much. It's a web. AI is a web, and we are trapped in it, badly. And at times I feel that we don't know how to actually come out of it. We're talking about that there are no regulations, there are no rules, and there are no, there's no restrictions from the government side or from the, the private companies and all. But what about our own moral conscience? What about our, where we should stop? This is one thing that I'm really concerned about. So if you can help me as a parent and not just as a, academician.
I would really request Jatin sir to answer this question.
Well, thank you, Garimaji. That's a wonderful question. Now, as a parent, and I'll get into that, but uh, with journalism and as scholars, one of our tasks is to place issues of importance into public consciousness, right? Directly or indirectly. A lot of time that gets into the public agenda. People start talking about it. You know, the research has shown that many times there is a reasonably close relationship between the media agenda and the public agenda. So that is one aspect, right? So that's how we can be useful, and we have been in the past, right? If you look in the history of in well, in last 20 to 50, 30 years in India, a lot of issues or a lot of laws that were created, they got into public consciousness, especially. So, for example, laws related to to dowry, laws related to sexual harassment, sexual abuse. A lot of that happened after these specific trigger incidents that received a lot of coverage in the media. So one thing is that create a sense of what is important and what should be the priority. So that is on one side. Now the other thing about the child, about role as a parent. So I'm so I I'm the parent of a 8 month old. So those are the things that that I've been thinking about quite a bit. But as of now, we are just trying to to keep kids away from media that has fast and a strong music change, those kind of the traditional ADD or other kind of situations. But as if you look futuristically, right, it's uh, you know as a parent you can ask all kind of questions, right? In India, I remember when I was growing up, or at least the communities I was growing up in, being computer engineer or being engineer was the first thing you would do, right? Now it seems that that being a computer, so the being a computer engineer might not be as lucrative 15 years from now as AI becomes more active in coding related works. So so a lot of that long-term kind of work is going to be there. I think it's going to change education at the elementary level and at the high school and intermediate and and higher education level. So so a lot of that is going to happen. In India, I don't see much restriction being placed on AI as of now. Uh, the way we have with social media, right? So even though there are a lot of noises, a lot of uh, discussion, you really don't have the kind of government intervention that you see happening in many other countries. So I think, see, AI is going to be so integrated with pretty much all aspect of human activities, from education to medical help to public records, to getting a license, to getting a shot, all those. So a lot of information processing, data management, triage, all that kind of stuff. Uh, that we really you know don't know how it will turn out, right? So when you look at the long term view, what will happen 30 years from now, and in India we do have those conversations, right? In US, it's very rare for parents to say things like, I'll make my son a doctor, or I'll make my son or my daughter an engineer, right? In India, that's one of the most common things you hear, right? So I think those conversations will probably change. But for everything else, I guess we'll have to see uh, how it integrates with our societies and what role our cultures have to play in it. Right. So the experience a parent might have in United States might be very different from the experience a parent might have in India. But
Yes.
that's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And of course, yes, the parents here are more into their children, rather, I mean, as compared to the Western parents. No comparison otherwise, but yeah, Indian parents are a little more involved with their kids, I guess.
Yes. So I think, yes, such deep conversations, diverse perspectives, and thought-provoking insights. And definitely at ICAN7, we're talking about the future of AI. Probably in ICAN8, we are talking about the products of AI. So let's see how it goes. And it's ever evolving. That's what we have heard from every speaker. So on that note, I thank you all. And for the formal vote of thanks, I would like to invite Garima. Over to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much, Ahana. As we draw the curtains on this insightful and enriching plenary session too, it is my honor to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing team of ICANN. First and foremost, our deepest gratitude to our esteemed speakers for sharing your invaluable insights and perspectives on the ethical dimensions and innovative possibilities of AI in media. A special thanks to our wonderful moderator, Dr. Ahana Chopra, for steering this session with grace, clarity, and sharp focus. We also express our gratitude to the management and convener of ICANN, Professor Dr. Parul Mehra, and co-convener Dr. Yamini Kullar, for their continuous leadership, planning, and vision that have made this conference such a vibrant platform for global academic discourse. Our thanks also go to our knowledge partners, IIMC, Kalandi College, and Shroff College, Mumbai, our international partners, SACA, our publication partners, IHD and Media Spaces Journal, and our media partners, of course, News 44, Dynamite India, and Quick News for their invaluable support. To all the delegates, attendees, and members of the DME Media School who have joined us virtually today, thank you for your participation and engagement. And finally, would like to extend my gratitude to the technical team, production team, student coordinators, newsletter team, administration, and IT department for their support. With that, we conclude this remarkable session. We hope the conversation started today continue to inspire critical thought and meaningful innovation. Thank you once again, and we look forward to welcome you all for the upcoming sessions of ICAN7. Tomorrow, we will have the valedictory from 3 p.m. onwards, and the best papers of all the technical sessions.
And we have one more panel discussion tomorrow
Yes.
morning.
At
Garima?
10:30, yes, ma'am, I was about to come to that. At tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning, we have another panel discussion, which is again going to be in online mode, and we would love to all of you to join us there as well. We will share the links as well. Now, I would like to request our technical team for a group photograph.